Select English movies. If you're looking for an entertaining fantasy web series that you haven't watched before, then these 10 choices may help you find one. So, prepare yourself to set off on an incredible voyage as we present the top 10 best fantasy adventure series, which feature tales of a mysterious worlds, magnificent expeditions, and limitless magical adventures. Now let's start the video. Number 10. White in Shining Armor. It is a fantasy comedy series created by Leanne H. Adams and Brian J. Adams. The narrative centers on White, a young man who stumbles into an ancient dungeon and falls on Greta, a medieval princess sleeping down for a millennium. In the meantime, White kisses Greta without meaning to, releasing the enchantment that awoke not only her, but also the royal magician, Baldric, and a host of other medieval bad guys, making White her guardian until her legions of adversaries are destroyed. The narrative advances as White assists Greta in adjusting to life in school and deals with his new duty as guardian. The series has finished its run and has had 5 seasons. Each season is a striking combo of fantasy and adventure that is enhanced even more by its endearing characters, sharp humor, and innovative storyline. Greta's relationship with White and his pals adds emotion and fascination, keeping viewers interested throughout the course of the season. Overall, the show delivers a fun-filled retreat into a realm of fantasy and comedy, with plenty of grand missions, magical challenges, and joyful adventure, making it an enjoyable watch for viewers of every age group. Number 9. Creature. It is a dark fantasy supernatural adventure series developed by Sam Catlin, Kevin, and Seth Rogen. The series has 4 seasons and has concluded its run, so you don't have to worry about an incomplete story. The series centers on Jesse Cusser, a priest from a tiny Texas community who is taken over by Genesis, an otherworldly being that is the child of a demon and an angel. Genesis, in the meantime, gives Jesse the ability to order anyone to do anything just by talking to them. As Jesse struggles with his new enormous power, he embarks on a quest in search of God, who has disappeared from heaven. On his quest, Jesse joins forces with his former partner Tulip and a vampire named Cassidy, as they run into celestial entities throughout the series, while Jesse has to deal with his criminal background, family background, and the ethical issues that his abilities bring. In general, the series is incredibly creative and wittingly funny, combining sarcastic comedy, complicated characters, and mystical aspects to create a uniquely enjoyable and surprising watching experience. It's a thrilling and fascinating journey into a dark and strange fantasy world, complemented by great acting from its leads. Number 8. The Gift. It is a fantasy mystery thriller series written by Jason George and Nuran Evernid. The show revolves around Atiya, an aspiring painter, who, upon spotting something symbolic in her artwork, starts to connect together a mystery involving her own background. She follows this symbol to an old archaeological site in southeast Turkey, where she meets Erhan, an enigmatic researcher. As Atiya continues her research, she finds links between the historical location, the Circle, a covert organization, a mighty ancient force, and her personal life, while she faces challenges from paranormal entities and ancient predictions, and learns of her purpose to save the planet from approaching disaster. The show's ominous atmosphere, mystical conspiracy, and ancient legends combine to create a captivating storyline that delves into the endless conflict between the forces of good and evil. The series' greatest strength is its examination of ancient folklore, which is complemented by its contemporary setting and striking cinematography. With its distinct historical setting and engaging themes of fate and identity, the show holds viewers' interest from beginning to end, even though some parts of the story may seem familiar to other fantasy series. Number 7. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. It is a fantasy adventure series based on the book series of the same name by Rick Riordan. I have to admit that this show exceeded my expectations. The series follows the exploits of Percy Jackson, a teenager who discovers that he is a demigod and the child of Poseidon, the Greek god of the oceans. The plot starts with Percy Jackson being falsely accused of stealing a Zeus lightning bolt, and he gets an ultimatum saying that there will be a battle between Zeus and Poseidon if the lightning bolt doesn't return to Zeus in 1 week's time. What follows next is Percy's endeavor to find the bolt and clear of all allegations. He is accompanied on his mission by the mystical being, Satyr, and Annabeth, the child of Athena. Together, they travel across the country, encountering a variety of legendary creatures and obstacles in their search for the bolt, all the while uncovering yet another sinister plot that endangers Olympus. The series is a brilliant adaptation of a book that seems fresh as well as classic. It deftly combines themes of Greek mythology with modern storytelling. Although the special effects are striking, this adaptation really shines due to the striking balance between the action-packed scenes, emotional and humorous moments. Number 6. Disenchantment. It is an animated fantasy sitcom created by Matt Groening. If you appreciate animated fantasy stories, this one is a must-see. The show takes place in the ancient country of Dreamland and centers on the exploits of Princess Bean, the rebellious thrill-seeking daughter of Dreamland's King Zod, who has no interest in ruling and rather longs for a lifestyle filled with adventure and action. Bean's life takes a dramatic turn when she meets Lucy, a demon sent to her by unidentified forces, and Elfo, an elf from the secretive Elfwood, who longs to live a life outside of his secret realm. The three set off on a variety of adventures together, facing off against mystical beings, sinister magicians, and political corruption, while Bean learns more about her mother's strange disappearance and becomes embroiled in her father's court's dramas and the impending danger of war. The 5 seasons use humor, satire, and aspects of conventional fantasy narrative to produce a distinctive and incredibly enjoyable series that delivers a lighthearted and sarcastic interpretation of beloved fantasy tropes and intelligent writing that adds a new and fascinating touch to the fantasy genre. Number 5. Titans. It is a superhero fantasy action series created by Akiva Goldsman, Jeff Johns, and Greg Berlanti. The show centers on a crew of young superheroes who fight off dangers from the magical and extraterrestrial realms. Dick Grayson, popularly known as Robin, is introduced in the first episode of the show as an investigator in Detroit after departing from Batman's side. He meets Rachel Roth, a disturbed young woman whose dark abilities are causing her to be wanted by strange entities. Along the road, they meet Corey Anders, a lady with amnesia who is looking for her real identity and possesses strong powers. As they investigate Rachel's past in further detail, they discover a dark plot regarding her monster father, Trigon, and his attempts to destroy the planet. As the narrative unfolds, Dick, Rachel, Corey, and other heroes unite forces to form the Titans as they take on a variety of dangers, such as cult leaders, renegade assassins, and other people with superpowers. The 4 seasons of the show are filled with action-packed superhero, sci-fi, and fantasy adventures. It also boasts a gritty tone, deep character development, and gripping plots that will keep you entertained throughout. Fans of comic books might get disappointed over some of the show's changes from the canon, but it offers a new angle on well-known characters like Starfire, Raven, and Robin that is well worth seeing. Number 4. Bulgasol, Immortal Souls. It is a fantasy thriller drama created by Kim Jae-in and Kim Young-kyu, the most underestimated and overlooked fantasy show of recent years. The show centers on Dan Hwal, a warrior who receives a curse and becomes a Bulgasol, an eternal being who feeds on people's blood while valiantly battling monsters. He swears vengeance on the woman whose past remains a mystery, yet who also happens to be the cause of his sorrow and eternity. While Min Sang-woon, an old Bulgasol who passed on her immortality, is now covertly living her existence as a human, he is motivated by vengeance as he tries to get back his soul. When their paths cross, both of their lives change as more truths regarding the curse came to light. The idea behind the show is fresh and deals with themes of rebirth, fate, and love throughout the episodes. However, the story's focus is more on establishing interpersonal relationships than diving deep into its central idea, which is its main flaw. The past plot is eventually where the series excels, but there are still some fantastic moments in the present timeline as well, including romance, fantasy, and action that are scattered throughout the extraordinary character-driven narrative. Number 3. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It is a dark fantasy supernatural horror series developed by Roberto Aguirre Sacasa. The show centers on Sabrina Spellman, a young girl who resides in the small community of Greendale and is half human and half witch. Sabrina has to decide on her 16th birthday whether she wants to live in the world of humans or in the witch realm. As Sabrina traverses her double existence, she uncovers terrible mysteries about the origins of her family and gets caught up in a conflict between the Church of Night, a group of witches headed by the mysterious High Priest Father Blackwood, and other magical forces, such as the Dark Lord, who wants to use her for his own evil plans. Although the show was cancelled after 4 seasons, the 6th season of Riverdale provides resolution to parts of the story. The show's central plot fuses horror, fantasy, and youth drama, backed by a moody narrative, elegant visuals, and endearing characters. Overall, it provides an enjoyable interpretation of the adored Archie Comics character. And for those who enjoy fantasy and supernatural stories, it's a great show. Number 2. Yu Yu Hakusho. It is an action fantasy adventure series developed by Akira Mori and Kata Sakamoto. The plot centers on Yusuke Urameshi, a young man who loses his life inadvertently protecting a child from being struck by a vehicle. When Yusuke's unselfish deed draws the attention of the spirit world, he is granted the opportunity to revive as a spirit detective and tasked with battling evil demons that pose a threat to the world of humans. Soon he and his new pals, Kurama, a fox demon, and others, must battle a group of demons who are attempting to link the human world with the demonic realm. As the show goes on, Yusuke discovers how to control his own spiritual abilities and engages in a risky competition to defeat a mighty demon named Toguro and rescue humanity. The show will keep your interest from beginning to end with its fast-paced, action-packed plot, compelling characters, magical fights, and heartbreaking scenes of friendship and progress. It's a bit unfortunate that there are only 5 episodes, since you will become so engrossed in the narrative that you will desire more. Number 1. House of the Dragons. If you forgot about Season 8 of Game of Thrones like a terrible dream, that's okay, since this drama is set a few centuries earlier than the finale of Game of Thrones, and is centered on Martin's book, Fire and Blood, which gives the background of House Targaryen. The show is centered on the family of Targaryen, and follows its rise and decline, focusing on the Dance of the Dragons, the Civil War, which unfolded some 170 years prior to the story in Game of Thrones. It all begins when King Viserys defies protocol by appointing his daughter, Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, as the likely heir to the throne. However, it does not sit well with other contenders for the throne, and soon, when Viserys marries again, tensions increase and the possibility of a civil war materializes, casting doubt on Rhaenyra's right to sit on the throne. The first season gives viewers a fuller understanding of the complex history of Westeros and the Targaryen dynasty, while also being full of political conspiracy, treachery, dragons, and disputes over power within the Targaryen clan. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestion.